On the Metaphysics of Pain, by Julius Evola. Illnesses and sufferings represent an obstruction, an excessive discharge in the psychophysical system of men. This occurs whenever consciousness has not been able or aimed to expand. This idea can be completed with another one, already expressed by Nietzsche in his work Will to Power, where the German author connects pain to fear and to the shocks caused by fear in the core of the nervous system, causing a series of feelings that eventually become projected in the functions of a given organ. From an esoteric viewpoint, that is what illness is all about. Living beings are physical, yet such physical character ought to be interpreted very widely, first as the tendency to keep up one's state, and secondly as the awareness of a balanced fixed relation with a given organic structure. Such physical character implies that whenever is verified a contact with a transcendental force, it has produced something quite similar to an injury, an inner injury. In such circumstances, when consciousness is being traumatized, it is driven to a state of trance, to a state of fear in regard to its own individualistic sense, feeling that its foundations are being menaced. When consciousness faces the given intervening force, the reaction or psychoemotive counterattack has the form of a limiting and anxious rigidity, which naturally supplants the perception of such force itself, as well as the deepest experience of pain and suffering. In the case of a state of consciousness that is open, and free in regard to its own individualization, pain would not exist as such. This would produce in general the passage to another form of consciousness which emerges from an intervening force present in the body, mostly in correspondence to an organic subtle state that is different to the self-same organs such subtle energies generally support. However, there is the case of a consciousness that is in fear, acting through agitated, self-focused reactions. In this case such consciousness eventually obstructs such communication, and experiences pain, which objectively can be considered as a purely negative experience of the manifestation of the extra-individual force. When the discharge is not exhausted and the emotional equivalent of pain, or suffering, and when such discharge encounters a more subtle reaction on the part of the individual that resists the mutation of state, it is this state which constitutes the true essence of illness. In this case, whatever modern medical science can approach is often by confusing the effects with the causes, since the plane where the actual causes take place are inaccessible both to the physical eye, as to the microscope. A clarification of such phenomena can only be provided thus by examining the subtle and occult character of human physiology. This approach constituted the basis of ancient medicine, which was considered a sacred and priestly art. By means of such sacred approach it was possible to acknowledge the subtle actions produced by given substances that were used in the medical sciences, aiming to act upon subtle forces present in specific symmetric regions of the subtle physiological domains. These practices were employed in order to balance or approach transphysiological agents in the body, and to polarize them towards the recovery from a state of disease. Based on this metaphysical understanding of pain and illness, it can easily be realized that modern medicine remedies and pharmaceuticals become necessarily the cause of new illnesses that are different from the treated ones. This is due to actions taking place in domains of reality that doctors trained in modern scientific medicine are incapable of accessing in practical terms.